Welcome back to CSL TV. And I just hope you guys are having a beautiful, blessed day. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and smash that subscribe button because it's free. You'll be helping me out. As well as in like, comment what made you watch CSL TV. And you know what I'm saying? The negativity, I read whatever. We live in a world of opinions. So, anything negative, like I do in real life, when somebody start talking about negative stuff, I say, hey, I can't listen to that right now. You know what I'm saying? So anything negative, I just hide you, block you, whatever I need to keep your bad vibes and energy away from the channel. And it's just a review, reaction, informational channel. But if you've been rocking with me already, I appreciate you so much. Let's get it.
You got a gun on you. Do not.
Yeah, do not reach for it. Put your hand.
What are you doing, dude? What are you doing?
This video out of Utah is upsetting, and we warn you, it may be difficult to watch. It all went down at this gas station about 30 minutes north of Salt Lake City. Cops are dispatched over reports of a man acting suspiciously inside the store. When they arrive, he walks out of the entrance. An officer begins to engage with the man, and when the body cam audio picks up, we can hear that the man doesn't want to go over to the cops.
Really?
Yeah. Come over here and talk to me. Come on over here and talk to me for a second.
What for, though?
I just told you why. Come over here and talk to me.
Really?
Or do you just want to be arrested right now? It's your choice.
What do you want to talk to me for, though?
I will let you know. Come over here. We got called on you.
What did I do, though?
I'm going to talk to you. Come over here and talk to me.
Come over and talk to this officer. All right, just go.
Okay, over here.
This is where things take a turn. Again, this might be hard to watch. As the man begins to walk towards an officer, a second cop maintains a watchful eye.
Keep your hands out of your pockets. Oh, sorry, look, I ain't got nothing.
When the man lifts his shirt, the cops spot that he's carrying a gun in his waistband.
You got a gun on you. Do not.
Yeah, do not reach for it. Put your hand.
The man starts to run away, and the first cop wrestles him to the ground, and the second cop opens fire.
Put your hands up! Put your hands!
The first cop then gets a hold of the man's weapon and shoots the man with the very gun he had stuffed in his waistband.
We've 3 of 11. Shots fired! Shots fired!
Do not move!
Backup and medical care soon arrived, but the 39-year-old suspect died at the scene. Police investigated everything that went down, and the 2 officers involved were placed on administrative leave. Friends of the man who was shot sought answers for why the officers didn't use a taser or place the man in handcuffs first, and an anti-police brutality group called for the 2 officers involved to be fired. Analysis from the Washington Post has found that more than 1,000 people are shot and killed every year by police. The investigation later revealed that the 2 officers witnessed the man reaching for his gun during the scuffle and opened fire because they thought he may have had another weapon on him. It turns out the man had a lengthy criminal history and, as a felon, was prohibited from carrying a firearm in the first place. This all went down in 2017, and prosecutors later determined the 2 officers involved were justified in using deadly force.
Now that's crazy to hear that this guy lost his life with the weapon he illegally had. Now I don't understand why people, you know what I'm saying, run from the police knowing how things is and stuff like that. Like, what make y'all thinking y'all can run away from the police and they not gonna be able to catch up to you? You feel me? Like, what make y'all wanna do something like that? I just don't understand it. And then y'all hear situations where when y'all resisting, definitely in his situation, what he think was gonna happen? They were gonna open up, you know what I'm saying, fire and shoot. So let this be a lesson to y'all to not be like this guy. Get yourself caught up in a situation you're definitely not coming back from. It's sad to see that, yeah, cops kill people, and, you know, statistically, my man Greg from Crime Line putting it down.
Video, we're going to be talking about judges who broke down crying after giving some very lengthy sentences.
Those were images that frankly kept me up at night.
Let's head over to the Waukesha County Courthouse, Wisconsin, where Daryl Brooks was sentenced to life in prison for driving his SUV into a crowd at a Christmas parade in Waukesha, killing 6 people and injuring several others. After 2 days of listening to victim impact statements, Judge Jennifer Darrow imposed the mandated sentence, but not without tearing up at the horror of the victims and those who witnessed the tragedy firsthand had to endure. She especially got emotional when she mentioned a school teacher.
To identify each one of her students. talk about their formation, talk about what she saw. So strong.
Brooke pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity, but his public defenders withdrew it. The public defenders withdrew themselves from representing Brooks, and the judge allowed Brooks to represent himself. In the end, the jury found him guilty on all 76 counts stemming from this deadly incident.
So before we get deep into this, y'all see what this part of the video is all about. And that's crazy because this lunatic, he's really relevant, you know. People have emotions and feelings and all this stuff, and it's sad to see how he mowed those folks down for no reason and then tried to play it how he played it. No, you deserve what you deserve, and if this was the times of when they did you know what to people for doing crimes, he definitely would be a top candidate to be on that block.
Next, let's head over to the Cuyahoga County Court of Common Pleas, Ohio.
What we do every day is so hard. People don't give any of us the credit that we deserve for dealing with the horrors that are brought before us.
While sentencing a Cleveland couple for killing their 5-year-old disabled child, Judge Nancy Margaret Russo broke down in tears. Larissa Rodriguez, aged 34, and Christopher Rodriguez, aged 36, were accused of killing their developmentally disabled son, 5-year-old Jordan Rodriguez, and burying his body in their backyard. The exact cause of death couldn't be determined. In order to avoid a potential life sentence in a murder trial, the couple pleaded guilty to lesser charges of involuntary manslaughter, felonious assault, child endangering, and gross abuse of a corpse in Jordan's death. The judge sentenced Larissa Rodriguez to 25 years in prison. But before she could go on to sentence Christopher Rodriguez, she began wiping tears from her eyes. Right in front of her were the photos of the little boy's body, buried in a 4-by-4-foot hole, all wrapped up in bags of mothballs to deter rodents, and with a diaper over his head.
I know as a judge I'm not supposed to show emotion. And in 22 years I never have. This is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
First of all, just imagine these people in these type of, situations, positions, the judges, the police officers, the crime scenes investigators, everybody that got to do what they have to do to get justice and to get things solved. I know mentally you got to be a strong person, and she said 22 years, she never broke down. And you can just imagine the shit she saw in 22 years, but to break down on something like this, I know had to be like, very hard and traumatic. Just to see, a little kid treated the way he was treated from his own parents. And I'm sorry, but that's just, whew. I'm getting chills now. My voice is starting to sound funny just thinking about what she possibly saw. Whoo, boy, I can just, some people.
Let's head back to Wisconsin. In the Brown County Circuit Court, David Meyer is being sentenced to 10 years in prison for killing 44-year-old Rebecca Pennenberg and 18-year-old Raelia Pennenberg in August of 2017. The two victims, a mother and her daughter, were walking in Lawrence, Wisconsin, when Meyer, while drunk, plowed into them with his car. Court documents showed that Meyer's blood alcohol level was almost 3 times the legal limit at the time of the crash. Prosecutors recommended 22 years in prison for Meyer, citing a need to send a message to the public that drunk driving comes with consequences.
I didn't know the family, had no connection, but I've seen too many of these cases, and I've seen too many people suffer from drunk driving.
During the hearing, Meyer expressed deep regret and wished that he could trade places with the women who lost their lives as a result of his reckless actions.
That got to be kind of difficult. Like he said, he's seen so many of these, and the judge, he broke down. Like, you a good person, you have good intentions, and God put you here to be something, to be a good, positive to the world. And people like this, it just break your heart. All y'all negative people out there, it just break your heart.
For the rest of my life, I'll be haunted by what I saw as far as the evidence and just the abject cruelty of it all.
We're in the George Edgecombe Courthouse, Tampa, where a Florida man is being sentenced for outrageous crimes. 29-year-old Ronnie O'Neill fatally shot his girlfriend and hacked their 9-year-old daughter to death with an axe. He also shot his 8-year-old son, who survived and testified against his father in court. He was also found guilty of attempted murder of his son, who he stabbed and lit on fire. O'Neill received 3 life sentences. O'Neill represented himself in court and subjected his son to a brutal cross-examination. After just 5 hours of deliberation, the jury found Ronnie O'Neill guilty of first-degree premeditated murder of his girlfriend and their 9-year-old daughter. The judge couldn't hold in her emotions when sentencing.
She was being betrayed by her parent, the one person that should be there to protect their children and love them and keep them from harm